Hello, good people. Welcome back. If I could, I would like to direct your attention to the bottom left of the screen, where you can see both a grizzly bear and a panda bear in their natural habitat. The pig cam is back. They are still all the way across the house, so obviously, you know, the camera quality is not exceptional and maybe a little glitchy here and there, but yeah, that's really the best I could do without spending like $400 or $500 for a camera. And yeah, maybe I'll get some lighting in there though. It looks a little dark, at least compared to where I have lighting for me over here. So we'll work on that in the future. But for now, happy to have the pigs back. Naga is still in there somewhere. She's just probably taking a nap. Anyway, you all are here for some normal Heart of the Underdog water. I've been playing with Heart of the Underdog a little bit recently. That may be some spoilers for future videos. I don't have it planned just yet, but maybe. Really like this card. So if y'all don't know what Heart of the Underdog does, it's a continuous spell. It says during your draw phase, when you draw a normal monster with the S in parentheses, you can reveal it, draw one more card. So we're playing a bunch of normal waters. We're playing Yugioh. We're also playing the Terror King Salmon. We're playing Yugioh. We're playing Sea Serpent Warrior of Darkness and 7 colored fish. I opted for the fish over the giant red sea snake because, let's be real, 7 colored fish is cooler. We have 1 copy of Tribe Infecting Virus as our only effect monster in the deck. I really wanted to focus this deck in on the normal monsters, so we're not seeing stuff like Abyss Soldier and maybe like Breaker, stuff like that. Really just wanted to focus in on exactly what I wanted to do with the deck, and that is to maximize Heart of the Underdog. However, I wanted the deck to still be, you know, somewhat decent, so we only have 16 monsters, which leads me to only play 2 copies of Heart of the Underdog. 3 of this could just get a little bricky, especially when you start introducing stuff like Skill Drain, and we also have like Soul Resurrection to go with Call of the Haunted and Premature Burial, so 3 revival spells, 2 skill drains, 2 Heart of the Underdogs, a bunch of field spells. Things can get a little bricky really fast, so just going with 2 copies of Heart of the Underdog here. We have all 3 copies of a Legendary Ocean and a Terraforming. If we're going to be playing 6 of the level 5s, we really need to get to a Legendary Ocean, so that's why I'm opting for the Terraforming as well. Of course, we have Trinity, Snatch Steal, Premature Burial, MST, and a couple of Noblemen of Crossouts. Solemn Judgment, very important card in this deck. We really want to protect our oceans, our skill drains, our Heart of the Underdogs, and, you know, if we're going to be playing all of these cards out, we just need to protect our back row in general from getting blown out from a heavy storm, so definitely 3 copies of Solemn Judgment in this deck, 2 copies of the aforementioned Skill Drain, 1 Soul Resurrection to get back our big normal monsters. I did see a few lists running Dark Factory of Mass Production, and I think that's pretty sweet. However, since we are running the big guys, I opted for Soul Resurrection just so we can get those back and get a huge push and take our opponent out. And I actually played this in, what was it, the Big Water video, I think? Was that part of... No, that wasn't part of Water Week. That was way back. I think that was like actually the New Year's video. But I played this in one deck and I was actually pretty impressed with it. So 1 Primo, 1 Soul Resurrection, 1 Call of the Haunted is where we're going. Then we have 1 Ring of Destruction, Mirror Force, and a Jar of Greed. I opted for Jar of Greed because it does actually synergize well with Heart of the Underdogs. That's why you see that in there. Getting on to the side, we've got 1 copy of Mobius, a couple of Book of Moons. We have our Mystic Walk. We have My Body as a Shield, which is a card that I haven't played around with a lot recently, but seeing Simo play this, and Nim, I guess, both of them playing this in the Progression series early on, it sparked something in me. I needed to play it again. So we've got My Body as a Shield here in the side, 1 Big Bang Shot, 1 Mind Control. We have our Heavy Storm on the side. I opted to not main it because we do have, you know, these revival spells, Skill Drain, a Legendary Ocean, Heart of the Underdog stuff going on, but I think it will be good to side in against the trap heavy decks. And, you know, a lot of decks are probably going to be siding in Battle Traps, Sakuretsu Armor, Widespread Ruin, and the like. So Heavy Storm, I think, gets a little bit better whenever we get post-side. For traps on the side, we have 3 copies of Sakuretsu Armor, a couple of Threatening Roars, we have our 3rd copy of Skill Drain, and then the petty special, we have Trap of Border Racer. But that is going to be our deck. Let's get out on the ladder, see if we can do some cool things, and draw some cards. All right, here we are with match number 1. Going with scissors from the randomizer here, back on the Kuhb Games account. Opponent has 507 elo. How much have I used this season? Not much at all. Okay, got it. We are at a standstill here in rock, paper, scissors. All right, we get to go first, which is very nice. Start throwing out our normal monsters. Maybe play a Heart of the Underdog turn 1. Would be nice. Get that extra value rolling in. No Heart of the Underdog, but this hand is pretty good, right? Immediate Dueling Book lag. Love to see it. Throw out the Terraforming. Go grab a Legendary Ocean. Make these monsters huge. 7 colored fish, come on down. Going to be doing a lot of stat changing in this, I'm sure. And then I'm just going to set everything. Play around Duo to the fullest extent, I think, is the way to go here. If the opponent has a Blade Knight and wants to crash, that's okay. Something like that. But we'll see what they've got for us. Nice little 2K beater turn 1. Not the worst thing I've ever seen. We are going to be relying on our spell and traps, really, to get us places in this. But, oh, Heart of the Underdog. All right. Well, I was going to use my Jar of Greed, but I think I'm actually not going to now, because that synergizes just perfectly here. Let's go ahead and throw down this knock. Get rid of the opponent's monster. Gigante Rat. Okay. We'll get in there for 2K. This could be a burn situation. Could be an Earth aggro situation. I think that's a little bit more realistic, given that the opponent didn't play any sort of back row at all. But we'll see. I don't think I'm going to take out a Gaff with a Solemn Judgment if they play one. I think I'm just going to let the 7 colored fish die, because I get to see at least 2 cards in the next turn. Could be more if we get the proc Heart of the Underdog here. All right, just a monster and a pass. Let's go. Oh, let's go. We get some draws here. Reveal the salmon. We get to summon the salmon too, which is pretty nice. Oh, never mind. I guess we get to summon the Yugioh. All right, and a Legendary Ocean. And I'm still in draw phase, so I'm going to activate Jar of Greed. And one more normal monster. Come on. Yes. All right, we've done it all. Yes, yes, yes. Card advantage. Let's go. More? No. Soul Resurrection's not bad, though. Oh, man. We've got all of this behind double Solemn Judgment? Okay. Okay, I'm down. Let's get the big dude out here. I think I'm just going to attack with 7 colored fish. Imagine it's going to clear most things here. Hopefully it's not a Morphing Jar. Oh, it's Spy. Okay, okay, okay. Well, either way, we only get to clear 1 Spy anyway. Now, let's see. Maybe they've got all their spies in hand. If that's the case, then I wish I had attacked with no target. Ooh, okay. All right. Get in there, Yugioh. I wish I had attacked with the Yugioh first now, obviously, but that's okay. I think I was kind of reading it that this was probably an Earth aggro deck, so it's probably more likely like a giant rat or something. So that's okay. That's okay. We miss out on 2K damage, but double Solemn Judgment here with all of these guys probably going to be good enough if I had to guess, because the opponent's been playing like nothing. And there's a good chance we could be drawing even more cards on the next turn. Our opponent over here drawing 1 card a turn, playing the fair game. They've got 6 cards in hand. Me over here just greedy, like, more draws, please. Sangantha is totally fine. Last Will. I guess this is okay. Like, the worst case scenario. What if they go into Stein? They go to 1,000. They could summon out Big Dude. I mean, yeah, since they have double Last Will, honestly, they should have gone one at a time, because there's a chance I would have Solemn Judgmented the first. Oh, no, they won't be able to Stein. So, yeah, the worst case scenario, they go into, like, Injection Fairy Lily plus Exiled Force, and I just follow up and everything's totally fine. They take 1,000 here. This is fine. I say moments before I get absolutely obliterated. They also get Sangan's effect, but they've already summoned. Yeah, there's Exiled Force. That's fine. I've got Soul Resurrection. Okay, so it was Exiled Force plus Injection Fairy Lily. I nailed it, I guess. This is okay. They go to 3,000, so they're like sufficiently dead here, right? Gillosaurus. Okay. Are we going to be attacking here? No. Alright, Yugioh is dead. However, I have Soul Resurrection to get it back. Solemn Judgment, I don't care about. Soul Resurrection gets back the Yugioh. I have double Solemn Judgment, so I feel pretty good about this. Alright, we draw another Heart of the Underdog, which is not ideal. But, yeah, I can just start throwing monsters into this Injection Fairy Lily. Sounds good to me. And I've got double Solemn Judgment, so... Yep. Let's go to game 2. We have... Spies, Sangan, Last Will, with the whole Last Will package going on. I feel like we probably want Skill Drain for this one. We probably want Threatening Roar as well. And then you could also argue that we want, Sakuretsu armors to go along with that, but I think we'll just chill on that for now. They do have Spy. But I don't know how good, Knock is going to be. So I think I'm actually going to drop the Knocks here. I'm going to play, I can beat their fair game with the Spies and stuff, because I do have all kinds of stuff to attack over Spies, so it's, not the end of the world, right? And then, I guess, just get rid of Jar of Greed. We don't really have time to be doing that too much. I'll leave in the Heart of the Underdogs, because that's kind of, that's what we're doing, right? Maybe I'm supposed to bring in Book of Moon. I think this is fine. Let's just run this, and we'll see. If the opponent gives me more reason to bring in more stuff, then cool, we'll do that. But I kind of just want to be aggressive, attack their life points, do the things instead of playing too defensively here. And this hand does a pretty good job of it. Cold Wave, all right. Into Zambra, okay. Pretty good. I think I'm just going to pass. I don't think there's any reason to run any of these out into Zambra killing it. I can't Terraforming. I can't set the call. So sure, let's just pass and see if we die. There is a decent chance of that. Last Will is broken. Okay, sure. Second Cold Wave's fine. What else we got? Oh, there's the Stein. Okay. All right. That's bad. That is indeed not good. Here comes Master of Oz. All right, I mean, Cold Wave plus Stein is just disgusting. As Zambra can't attack directly. I'm at 3,100. I can't play any spell or traps, which is so sad. If I run out Yugioh, then they just attack it. If I set it, they still kill me. Okay. I'm gonna give them. Well, does that? Yeah, I'm gonna give them the chance to make a mistake here. Maybe they don't attack this with the Zambra. They just attack it with the Master of Oz. And I'm gonna attack over Stein. And pass the turn and hope for the best. All they have to do is attack this with Zambra and then attack with Master of Oz and I lose. Or have another monster, or Snatch Steal, that works too. And Injection Fairy Lily, sure, you wanna give me some more information? No. Alright, we'll just admit defeat. We kind of got blown out by Cold Wave there, but that's okay. We get to go first, so maybe we can set up before Cold Wave hits. This time, that would be nice. Zambra kind of makes me want the Book of Moon or the Sakuretsus. But going first, I really just want to keep the Heart of the Underdog in. Skill Drain. I think Skill Drain's still pretty good here. They just happen to have Zambra in their deck. I mean, they probably just have a small warrior package, right? Because they have Exile Force, so they want Rhoda anyway. I'm just going to run it back. I think this is fine. I think we just kind of got blown out by, double Cold Wave plus Stein, which is going to happen. This hand is excellent. Would love to see Legendary Ocean, of course. No, just a bunch of normal monsters. Okay, I'll get rid of my salmon. I guess I'll get rid of the monsters that I can't play, right? And we'll summon out little, I guess, mid-sized dude. Yugioh's not small, I would say. And we'll pass the turn, and we'll hope for no heavy storm into Cyberstein. But we'll see. Cold Wave, honestly, is not the end of the world here. If they go Cold Wave Stein into Master of Oz, that's really good for me, actually. But we'll see. I mean, anytime you've got a Last Will Cold Wave deck, there's always the chance to just lose. Sangan is fine. We set some back row. Yeah, I'm just going to MST this one. Saku. All right, happy to have that gone, I suppose. 7 colored fish. How aggressive do I want to get here is the question. I don't... Well, I guess I could Solemn Judgment of Mirror Force. It's kind of... Especially since they've got Sangan right here. I'll be aggressive. It's fine. I need to lower their life points as quickly as possible because of Stein. And, like, Mirror Force and Torrentials specifically are the cards that hurt me here. And I can Solemn Judgment if I want to. Which I guess I probably would, actually. But Sangan getting out of here, love to see that. If they get Spy, I can tribute for the Yugioh if I want to. Spirit Reaper. Okay, well, we can deal with that as well. We do have Ring, so I'm not super duper worried about it. Let's get in there. Okay. All right, so I guess we hit the right card with the MST, right? Took out the Saku, and then both of our attacks just go through. And we have 3650. Yeah, we do have lethal over the Spirit Reaper with Solemn Judgment backup. Zom is fine. I'm just going to ring that. Oh, they don't do anything? All right, I guess they just lose then. That's that's perfectly fine with me. All right, throw down the 7 colored fish. And I will ring your Zombra of the Dark. We both take 2100. And I have a Solemn Judgment, and you only got 1 card, opponent, unless you've got a Kuhb over there. Get in there. Ah, let's go. We pick up the first one. Little bit of a scare there in game 2 with the double Cold Wave and the Cyberstein, but game 1 was so sick. We just kept drawing cards off of Heart of the Underdog. Normal monsters, that's where it's at in GOAT format. Let's go ahead and grab another one. All right, we got match number 2 here. I know I said that hand in game 3 was like excellent, and it was pretty good, but I don't know if excellent's the word for it. It really needed a Legendary Ocean. Just kind of thought, there was a pretty good chance I would hit it off of the Graceful Charity. But, ooh, speaking of excellent hands, this one's pretty good. Never mind. Always a good old delinquent duo. Don't hit Pot of Greed, don't hit Pot of Greed. Prima? Alright, that's fine. I'm going to get rid of my tribe. I'm going to keep the 7 colored fish, whatever. We have the skill drain already. I think it's totally fine. Obviously, Tribe is a much, much better card than 7 colored fish, but here we are. I'm just gonna start getting some beats on, hopefully. Throw down this Pot of Greed. And I actually don't think I'm gonna attack on turn 1 because I do have the skill drain. Alright, Salmon and Snatch Steal. Okay, that's not terrible. Let's just run out the 7 colored fish, and then I'm just going to set skill drain and pass the turn. No reason to attack whenever, I can wait another turn and stop all of the flip effects from our opponent. I would love to see an Ocean here, obviously. Heart of the Underdog. Okay. I'm not upset about that either. Get a little bit of lag going here, but I will summon out my Sea Serpent Warrior of Darkness here. And I will declare an attack. I'm just going to... Because I want to make sure to... make sure to play around a Battle Trap here. So nothing on Declaration. Okay. So in the battle step, I will activate the skill drain. That way the opponent doesn't know this is coming before they can activate the Saku. But we're just going to run into Spy, and that's okay. Sea Serpent, get into this thing. All right, Deco out of here. No draw for the opponent. Let's just play out our Heart of the Underdog and pass the turn. Next turn, we can Snatch Steal this if we want to. Summon out the Salmon. Maybe we get to draw a bunch of cards with Heart of the Underdog again. Who knows? All right, we'll see a jog from the opponent. No lights just yet. Every time I say that, Thunder Dragon comes down, but you know, that's okay. Honestly, Chaos Monster here is not even that bad for me. What I really don't want to see is a Heavy Storm. But unless this was just a misclick to set it, it looks like we're not going to get stormed here, which is pretty good. Oh, yeah. All right, normal monster off the top. Duo. Okay, well, I don't hate a duo. How much do I need to play around Mirror Force, I guess, is the question here. Mirror Force isn't real and it can't hurt me, right? That's how this goes. I guess, like, I need to keep the Snatch, though. If the opponent hits BLS. I could just tribute one of these off, keep the Snatch Steel. I think that's what I'm going to do. Let's just summon out the Salmon this way. We'll use Snatch Steel as sort of like a backup threat. And that way I'm not throwing everything I have into a potential Mirror Force, so it's kind of just a little bit of a mid-ground play here. And I guess I will play the duo now. God, I guess... Well, it's not really going to put a light in the opponent's graveyard, right? Yeah, let's just throw out the duo. I was a little hesitant to do it at first, but maybe I was supposed to just do it first anyway. I don't know. Maybe some poor sequencing here, but alright, hit a Chaos Sorcerer and a knock. That's alright. Don't care about the knock too much. But I guess seeing a Chaos Sorcerer go is not the end of the world. I was thinking at first, I'm like, you know, I could put a light in the graveyard with this duo, but oh, there's the Thunder Dragon. Okay. Do we have BLS in hand? If they don't, that's awesome. I'm not too scared of things. Even if they do, like, they can attack over one of our monsters, cool. I just Snatch Steal. Take the BLS for myself. It is just a Blue Eyes White Dragon. It is just a 3,000, 2,500 vanilla, but... Oh, we're looking at the extra deck. Okay. And just a pass. Alright, normal monster? Graceful Charity. Not a normal monster, but pretty good. Maybe we can draw MST plus monster off of this? We'll see. There's normal monster. Ooh, Solemn Judgment and Mirror Force. I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the fish. If they had Mirror Force, they would have used it last turn, right? I think they would have done the same thing with Scapegoat. Alright, I'm going to get rid of Mirror Force, and I'm going to get rid of Snatch Steal, and I'm just going to go for game this turn. I don't think this is anything consequential back here. I could be wrong. If I am, I do have Solemn Judgment as backup. But I feel like they would have done something last turn with this if they could have. It is a Scapegoat. Okay. So they took the 1,800. That's fine. Like, I'm not worried about a tear or anything. That's for sure. I guess, like, Scapegoat is the one that it made sense to be as a defensive trap. It made the most sense to be. And I've got tear covered for days. BLS here, I can just Solemn Judgment. Oh, Sork? That's fine. Yeah, I'm not going to do anything about the Sork. We're not going to Solemn Judgment that. I'll take 500, no big deal. They could go into a 6, but that doesn't make any sense. There aren't any 6s that survive Terra King. They've got 2 Thunder Dragons left in hand. They could go into a 5, I guess. That's not great either. Yeah, I just passed the turn. Normal monster. Ugh. Okay. That's fine. We had to clean up the board here. Just attack into the Sork. And attack over this Goat. I'm actually kind of glad they had Scapegoat there, because now this makes this a little bit more of an interesting game. Set the MST, pass the turn. I'm going to be very, very picky about this Judgment. Like, I really want it for Heavy Storm, but I guess the opponent's just going to concede, so we ended up getting there. Okay, so... Control. Chaos Control. We like the Book of Moons. We like the Big Bang Shot. We like the Skill Drain. I mean, Mind Control is just a fine card, right? Knock. Knock, I think, is still good. We could probably just, like, cut the Jar of Greed here. We could trim the Mirror Force, maybe. Maybe I have too many things for control. That's totally possible here. because I like Tribe a lot. I like all of these cards. Let's be real. I guess I could cut like a Soul Resurrection. Oh, Book of Moon's so good. Maybe I just don't bring in the Mind Control. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, and then find a third thing to cut. Like, all of these cards are good. I could cut a Salmon, I guess. I don't hate that. I don't like, you know, going down to my monster count. I could cut Knock, but I think this deck really just wants to play that nice little clear your threat attack game. And Knock pretty good at getting rid of the spies whenever I don't have Ocean, stuff like that. Okay, nice little Heart of Underdog, the Underdog turn 1, and a Delinquent Duo. So can't really complain about this. Now I have complaint equity because I don't have the Ocean. all right, let's throw it down to the Delinquent Duo. I can't talk today. This all good, opponent. Let's hit that one right there. That seems like a good one to hit. Kaiku the Ghost Destroyer. Okay. And in the tank, Metamorphosis getting out of here. Sure. Summon out my Sea Serpent. And just get in there. Saku. I'm going to let it go, I think. Yeah, I've got Prima to follow up. I don't want to Book of Moon it and then the opponent just have like a Zomber or something to attack over it. That seems pretty poor. But I'll just play out my Heart of the Underdog, pass a turn. Maybe we finally get some value off of this card in this match. Or maybe we soaked up all the value in match number 1. All right, just a back row. Normal monster. Ocean. All right, Ocean's pretty good. I will accept Ocean here. Let's just play that out. God, I love how Ocean looks on the screen. Such a pretty card. All right. And if they do have Scapegoat and another meta here, that's fine. We have Tear covered with Book of Moon. It's Mirror Force. That's also fine. Yeah, I don't think I'm going to Book of Moon once again. I think I just want to save this Book of Moon for Thousand Eyes Restrict, right? I guess if they follow up with a Kaiku here, it's really, really bad. I feel like they would have done that last turn. If they had one. I guess I could top deck one here, but, you know, so be it, I guess. It would completely ruin what I've got, but I don't think I'm supposed to set this Book of Moon and then just, like, die to a Heavy Storm. I've already committed 2 cards. Yeah. Just a pass. Knock. Okay. Well, Heart of the Underdog is not doing its thing in this one, but let's target the Giga. All right. He's back. And let's try to get in there once again, maybe? Raigeki Break. Pitching Solemn Judgment. They're going to target the Prima. You know, I think since this is the last thing I have, I'm going to Book of Moon now. And just pass the turn. The opponent's been very reluctant to play any sort of monster out, so there's a pretty decent chance this lives. And 1700 is pretty big, so there we go. There we go. Reveal the 7-colored fish. Another? No, but a Pot of Greed. All right. I guess we accept those. We'll play that out. The opponent has gone fully on the defensive here. Ooh. Another big dude. All right. I'll flip up our other one here. I got to play more water decks. This is so sick. Get in there. We don't even care about like Snatch Steal or anything here. Unfortunately, the opponent's at 2700, so like 7-colored fish follow-up wouldn't kill, but it's okay. We'll just pass the turn. The opponent had like nothing last turn, so maybe we draw into Big Bang Shot and they draw a Scapegoat, or maybe our opponent won't have anything and we'll just be able to take down the duel and the match. All right. We just kind of like, look at this. Like, I know they lost these from Delinquent Duo, but Saku, Mirror Force, I know they pitched the Solemn Judgment to the Raigeki Break. What else was their hand? All right, we got to see what was in their hand, right? Because that's kind of wild. Our opponent didn't do much, really at all in this entire match. I guess Controlled X do that sometimes. They had a BLS. Okay. Interesting. I guess they didn't want to discard BLS to Raigeki Break. I don't know. I feel like I'm setting the judgment there. Tsukuyomi. Oh, you could pitch that. Interesting. Tsukuyomi's not great here at all. So maybe they just didn't have much. Yeah, they set the Raigeki Break. Okay, I get it. Maybe. I don't know. This is fine. This is why you should always go after the monster with Raigeki Break. Because it feels like it's the same thing. Like, if you destroy the Prima, it destroys the monster. But if you just click the monster instead of the Prima, I can't have Book of Moon to save it. So probably a little bit of a misstep from the opponent there. And let's see. Oh, they draw Duo. That's funny. They decide to not throw it off there. Okay. Well, I'm going to see what else they draw here on their next turn, and then we're going to be out of here. Yeah, Sinister Serpent, not going to do it because they did lose their Metamorphosis. Unfortunate. So our opponent went on the super defensive, but, what's better than a good defense? An even better offense. This was sick. At least we got, some more value out of Heart of the Underdog. Instead of just literally the first game of the first match of the video. Happy to see what Heart of the Underdog could do. Happy to see what Skill Drain could do. I guess, yeah, it did a little bit in that first game. I love Skill Drain. I love Heart of the Underdog now too, but that's going to wrap up our video for today. A little bit of a short one, but I think it was a fun one anyway. Hope you guys enjoyed. We'll be back with the next one.